Hey again guys, Martin here from TSI. Just did a quick short vid saying thanks to everyone for checking in and reading TSI for the last 2 issues. So I thought I'd just sit here and talk to you some more while I'm still making some bullets. Why do I do this stuff? Well, just putting some more gunpowder in. For me, I've always been into my guns. I grew up in the UK, which meant I had air rifles and an air pistol, or a couple of air pistols as a kid. Back then, it was in the 90s. You could just buy them at the local sports store. There's no dramas. I used to shoot them in the back garden. A little funny little story, when my push bike got stolen, when our shed got broken into in the back garden, probably in about 97, 98, something like that. When the police came to check out the broken in shed and whatever, I saw squished .177 air pellets all over the floor in front of my shed door, because that's where I used to stack the phone books and stick a target on and shoot them from the other end of the garden. Again, perfectly legal. They just said, "Who does all this?" And I just said, "Oh, I don't know, they were here when we moved in. We lived in the house like 9 years. They wouldn't still have been there." But again, completely legal. When I left the UK and came from England to Australia in year 2000, couldn't bring the air rifles and stuff with me. A, wasn't worth it. They were pretty crap. And B, here, you needed a license for them. So they just stayed in England. As far as I'm aware, a friend of mine has still got them somewhere. May have got rid of them by now, who cares? But I hadn't, between leaving England and then many years later, hadn't shot a single firearm, whether it be an air rifle, air pistol, or a real firearm. And in around about 2011, I was having shit house day at work. So I was in Southport, Queensland. About 2 kilometres down the road was the Southport Indoor Pistol Club. I went down there, handed my money over the counter, and I shot 5 different guns. After work that day, I went straight to the Gold Coast shooting supplies shop. I was really nervous walking in a shop that I'd never been in a gun shop before. They told me this and that and your other. I told them I'd just been to Southport and I was thinking of joining up there, and they said, "No, don't, go somewhere else." Probably shouldn't really say that. So I did. I went and joined Gold Coast Pistol Club and never looked back. I think that was 2011, so I'm coming up to 9 years. Had 3 renewals on my license for Category H, which is pistol, and also do some rifle shooting as well. Guns became a huge part of my life. Call it an obsession if you like. Ever since I started shooting, I wanted to get my son involved. Riley, my oldest son, who is an avid gel bowler with us, turned 11 last week. So he came down to the range for the very, very first time on Thursday last week. Had a wonderful time. He's no doubt going to come down and shoot a lot more with us. He's going to get his own membership, obviously, that we've got to pay for. But that evolved 2 years ago into gel bowling. Now, yes, like every other masculine male, I've played paintball in the past. Way too expensive to justify doing it regularly. So when gel ball came along, and when it wasn't actually quite legal in Queensland yet, several guys I knew from pistol shooting were already playing gel ball and were constantly raving on about it and telling me how I had to come down. And I completely avoided it until I knew it was legal. So March the 1st, I believe it was, 2018, where it went through court, it was legalized or made legal or said as to not be illegal. I went straight to one of the guys from the pistol club, who was going to sell me his lightly used gel blaster. One of his gel blasters he'd never used. I'm looking at it right now. It's right at the top of my rack here. It's G36, the grey and blue plastic one. Served me very well. Still really, really like it, apart from it's old school now. Souped it all up, of course, thanks to Brent from Asriel's Armory, who had all the pump kit and all the parts needed. And it ran superb for a long, long, long time, until eventually the gearbox housing did crack. Many, many, many games later. But then, of course, that spiraled out of control. Riley, my son, came along and started playing as well, so we built him one. That broke, so the external housing of it, he snapped it, being a full-size blaster and he's only little. So that turned into a little M4 pistol. And then, yeah, as I said, it's spiraled out of control to some degree. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blasters now. Realistically, the main one I use is an M4 that's a Shackers Clackers build, based off a Gen 9. Riley uses his little M4 pistol, which is a Gen 8 XM316. My actual favourite to use would be the Vector, La Huya Vector V2. It's just my preference, but it doesn't perform as well as my M4 because it's not a Shackers Clacker build. My backup reliable go-to is a Gen 8 UMP that I built exactly the same spec gearbox that I built for Riley's M4. It's just a basic Chi-Hi Blue, Singularity 13 box, 1.25 spring, new seals, new this, that, cast metal gears, and they just run and run and run and run and run. Get the shimming right, nothing wears out, they just work. As soon as you wind them up, let's say you put a Chi-Hi red motor or a bigger spring on those gears, they'll probably break. But with a basic setup, well shimmed, they tend to survive. Then we met Iggy, who had moved from the UK, and he was an avid airsofter. Came to Australia, no airsoft, couldn't play. He started coming along gel balling. Enjoys it. It's certainly not airsoft, but it's a good way of getting a run around. Oh, dropped a bullet. He went off and played airsoft in New Zealand last year and raved about how absolutely superb the event was. And next thing I know, I'm going as well this year. Now, this is going to be a hard thing to say. It hasn't ruined gel ball for me. It has certainly made me see gel ball in another light. Airsoft is exactly the same as gel ball in every way, bar the fact it's more accurate. Yes, it's a bit more expensive, but does have more range. But it just allows you to take the gameplay further, purely because of the accuracy. With gel ball, for example, my Shackers Clackers built blaster, or even my basic UMP, they're doing 30 rounds per second if you hold the trigger down. Shackers Clacker one is doing about 45, and you're just spraying the gels to get your hits at 30, 40, 45 meters. With the airsoft stuff, with an entry-level, reasonably basic, but very high-quality ICS M4, 50 meters, single shot, you could get a hit. Now that's the difference. That takes it from being more of a game, like gel ball is a running around with the kids playing a game kind of scenario, to being military simulation. You can't pick your head up. You can't stand at a distance where you think they can't hit you and wave at them and give them the middle finger and dance around being silly like people do playing gel ball, knowing they're out of range. Can't do that. Airsoft, you don't know what someone's range is going to be. Some of the guys with some of those DMRs or the long range accuracy stuff, they could get you at 120 meters. That's double the range I had. I could not play silly buggers around a couple of the guys. Now, OZ 1 week for the airsoft side of things in New Zealand, in Christchurch, was absolutely insane. It was the most simple, most laid back, extremely well organized, run by Aussie airsoft enthusiasts, for Aussie airsoft enthusiasts, with some NZ players thrown in. Just absolutely superb. In gel ball, we got a lot of BS. A lot of silly people. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but it's true. There's people fighting here, people having a dig at each other there. The internet just goes rife with gel ball crap. And no doubt it happens in airsoft. Of course it happens in airsoft. But my airsoft experience was top notch. I cannot wait to get back to New Zealand again. I absolutely promised myself when I got on the plane to leave Christchurch, and I said it to Iggy next to me, I'm not spending another cent on buying another gel blaster this year. I'll maintain what I've got, make sure they're all working in top form, but I'm not spending another cent on a gel soft blaster, gel ball blaster. I'm going to save those dollars, squirrel them away throughout the whole year so I can buy myself an airsoft gun in New Zealand. Have it stored at Arena, which is where all the guys store their stuff, ready for the next time they go. Yeah, there's a fee involved. You pay a membership and you get free storage. Lock up your box, won't get touched unless you pay them to maintain it or pay them to check it out ready for your next arrival. That's where it's at for me. I don't have much money. None of my guns have been expensive to build. Fortunately, I got them all at cost pricing in that I was in the industry. The Vector that I got through Azrael's Armory, as far as I'm aware, as far as Brent's aware, was the second one that ever came into the country. Brent had the first about a week or so before, and he had a couple more coming in parts and pieces, and I put it together, and it's my all-time, it's my OG, it's my favorite, I love it. It's basically standard 11 volt battery, 1.2 spring, new O-ring. I took out the plastic 15 centimeter barrel and I put in an aluminium barrel that's 24 centimeters. It goes right to the end, or goes right to the hop up, and the hop up fits flush at the end with a Silencer Co. Osprey style suppressor. So it allows me to maximize the barrel length. Unfortunately, as we speak, the MOSFET in my Vector has died. The only other thing that's died in the thing in the 14, 15 months I've had it was the motor did die. Changed that out thanks to Benny from the mod pit. And then the MOSFET died as well. Now I've got a new one, again from Benny. But my one being the very, very early one is a two-piece L-shaped MOSFET. This one's a single-piece flat one that Brent from Azrael is going to repin and redo the wiring for me. Put it in there and get it running. I didn't really want the Vector to run full auto only. I did want to maintain single shot and the burst. I do tend to use the burst all the time to get that one back up and running. Now, that's enough of airsoft and gel balling. What about pistol and rifle stuff? Now, rifle stuff, I've never competed. Sorry, I've dropped some projectiles. Rifle stuff, I've not competed. I desperately want to. The snag is, the biggest one is my calendar always seems to clash when there is an event on. Now, the Dolby Tara Rifle Club, out west of Toowoomba, obviously heading towards Dolby, is the club to go to for the kind of shooting I really want to get into called PRS. Some people call that practical rifle shooting, some people call it precision rifle shooting. Now, PRS is the IPSC of the long-range rifle world. Who knows what the match might throw at you? You might shoot laying down in prone. You might shoot standing. You might have to shoot off the back of a chair, or off a rock, off a wooden barricade, off an angled sloped roof. There's no way of knowing what the match is going to throw at you unless you are the match, unless you created it. So it's the practical precision rifle. This is definitely what I want to get into. This is what I practice with 22s all the time at the local pistol club. I can't shoot big rifles there, it's pistol only. Just shooting off awkward positions, trying to get stable, trying to move and shoot and move again, shoot with the heart pumping, a bit like IPSC. There is quite a good following for PRS down the southern end of Australia. There's the Precision Rifle Series Championship down there, which is mostly through Victoria, South Australia and into New South Wales. This year they did actually have a Queensland round up at Biggendon, which is, I believe, up near Rockhampton. Yes, I had it on the desktop on my computer as a must go to watch. I wasn't going to shoot it. This was the one I was going to go up and watch. But unfortunately, it clashed. I had my dad here from the UK. The weekend we were going away camping was the weekend Biggendon was on, so I missed it. It's definitely something I'm wanting to do for 2020. It was my goal for 2019 was to do a precision rifle match. Now I'll probably only shoot it in 223. Caliber's a bit small for probably the potential range they're going to be shooting out to. But in all honesty, your first few matches of anything are a complete throwaway anyway, so it's irrelevant if the caliber's right or not. Ultimately, money permitting, I would desperately love to get myself a 6.5 Creedmoor or a 224 Valkyrie that I could use if I was able to get into these matches as a regular thing for the longer range, well, for all ranges, not just long range. The 223 being a 6mm cartridge, sorry, a 5.5mm cartridge, is a bit too small. The 224 Valkyrie is the same 5.5mm, but it's got a lot more gunpowder behind it and allows for a lot longer projectile, which allows for a heavier projectile, being more stable and more accurate at longer range coming down through the subsonic. A lot of that's probably complete BS to you guys. The moral of the story is the caliber I own is not ideal and I want a different one to be able to make me compete. So in my mind, that's what's held me back from really pushing to getting out to do some PRS, because I know I'm not quite set up right. I do have bigger caliber guns. I do have a 308 and I do have a 300 Win Mag. Neither are really what I want to be shooting for a match style setup. The 308 is more of a hunting gun. The 300 WSM is not a competition setup. Lovely gun. You'll see it in issue 3. It has a beautiful stock on it from a company in Norway called GRS. Very, very, very nice product. But my specific gun is not set up for competition use. So my rifle shooting up to date is only really long range shooting out on properties. I've shot out 1,231 meters. We've done a kilometer. Not a problem doing 800. I've done 800 meters with the 223 as well, but certainly not getting a hit in the first few shots that you would need to do in a competition. IPSC, pistol stuff. I haven't shot any matches in a couple of years, in that it's a time thing. I've been, again, it's going to sound a little bit silly, I've been doing more gel balling than I have pistol competitions. For an IPSC match, you're essentially at the pistol club all day, if not 2 days, if not 3 days, if it's a national match. And per day, you're only going to shoot for maybe 2 minutes in the whole day. You might do 8 stages. A stage can range from, say, 3 seconds to 45 seconds, and anything in between. And I just don't have the patience to stand around or pick up other people's brass or patch other people's targets for a whole 8 or 10 hour day, or 2 times that, to shoot for 2 minutes. Doesn't paint a very good picture for IPSC, I know, but that's just my preference, my personal me. I've got the family at home, and I don't really have the time. I do, however, go down to the pistol club. I go at least once a month, if not twice a month. Back in the day, I used to go twice a week and shoot the local club matches, which is where I'm perfectly happy. That's what I like doing. It's social. It's not overly competitive. It doesn't matter if you have a bad stage and you zero it and you ruin your scores. Someone else is probably going to do it as well. But it's more a case of, it's just pure fun. It allows me to get some trigger time, shoot off some of these 9mm, shoot off some 22s, and still see how I go against better shooters. Gold Coast Pistol Club is absolutely loaded with good shooters. We've got guys that have represented Australia for many years. We've got guys that are state champions, that are Australian champions in almost every one of the categories of IPSC shooting, which allows you to work out where you sit in your level. Let's say you've got a couple of guys in your squad that you're shooting with that, regardless of what gun they're shooting or regardless of what category they're shooting, if you can shoot within my goal, say 20% of the best shooter on the day, I'm really happy. If I can shoot within 30%, so if I can get 70% of the score of some of the top guys, I'm happy. If I can do better than that, I'm really, really happy. Especially considering I don't shoot very much, a lot of them shoot a lot. But in all honesty, this last 12 months, if not a little bit more, I have focused a lot more on gel balling for two reasons. One, now this is the most important reason. My son, Riley, comes along. He absolutely loves gel balling. Now, he's always been a mature kid. He's always been, no, I don't want to gloat, but top of his class. He's always been this, he's always been that. But he is a man of integrity, a player of absolute maturity when it comes to gel ball. Now that is something that I love to see. Yes, of course, I enjoy playing gel ball. I want to go for my sake, not just his. But I want to go to gel balling for his sake, to take him. It's his thing, it's his sport, it's his hobby. And my daughter dances, she does her competitions, she does her Estadfords, and she has her dance classes. Riley's got his gel balling. But as he grows up, as we said before, he's come to the Pistol Club and shot real games as well now. But as he grows up, I want to get him into the speedball side of things for gel balling. I want to see if we can get him into competition and more than that, you know, do something with it. I know that there's no sponsorship or he can't make a living or anything out of it, like anything like that. But enjoy it. He deserves it. Now, the other reason why I like gel balling is that there's two reasons. Actually, there's three. The second one, now this is the most important one for me, and it's the people. It's the social side of things. I've never ever had so many close friends in my life. Ever. Yes, I play on the Azrael Assassins team that's obviously supported by Azrael's Armory. On that team, we have got some of the best people I've ever known in my life. By none. And it's just what's happened. Iggy and myself were actually the first players on the Azrael team back when it was Chainsaw Assassins. And we helped Brent pick our first players. I do believe the first player we picked to offer to join us was Jacob. Then I believe it was Tyson. Honestly, I don't really remember the order. And the team just got better and better and better. Yes, at times we've drifted apart a little bit. Guys are busy. Guys are working on weekends sometimes and can't always make it. But everyone's always there. And it's just incredible. We all go now just to see each other. It's where we hang out. It's our social. Getting to play at Nuketown on the Gold Coast, it's our home game. It's actually the game that we run. Azrael's Armory is Nuketown GC. So we run it with him. We come up with all the game types. We organise all the refereeing, set up all the game days. You could call it's our playing field if you want to call it that. It's our home game. We set it up. We run it. And I couldn't be happier for that. It's minutes away, which couldn't be better. And it's a superb facility. What better could it be? Now, Nuketown is where Iggy and I play. It's where we've developed TSI. And it's our future of gel ball for us. We are definitely going to join the Speedsoft Australia guys as soon as we can. I can't make it there on the 18th. I'm away camping for the weekend with the family. It's always a way, isn't it? Dates clash, remember? My calendar always clashes. But we're definitely going to get up there to the Speedsoft events. Now, the third reason why I love the gel balling is fitness. I am a lazy not not a fitness person at all. Over the years, I've done the gym, I've done rugby, I've run, I've done this, I've done that, and these days, I pretty much hate it. The only time I enjoy running is, well, realistically, gel ball field, to and from spawn, running into a firefight, running away from a firefight, running around. Realistically, the only time I will run away from gel ball is if I just go for a random run up and down the hill here, just trying to keep my fitness up because I haven't been gel balling that much. Now, there's a couple of different kinds of fitness, and everyone will have heard people say this, that there's game fit, there's gym fit, there's match fit. Now, I honestly swear that there is gel ball fit, which is, I guess you could say, not far off a very entry level, a very basic civilian level of, battlefield fit. If we have a half-hour game or an hour game or however long it is, you can almost guarantee in that time frame you're going to get shot once, if not twice, if not several times. So you're probably going to have to run back to the respawn or run somewhere. Now, me being the kind of player I am on the gel ball field, I don't like to waste time. I want to get straight back out to the playing field as quickly as possible, which means I'm not going to walk back to spawn. And I do everything I can to get back to spawn as quickly as possible so that I'm not wasting my game time, so that I'm not leaving my teammates stranded with one less barrel pointing at the enemy. And this for me is what makes the game, is the harder I play, the more content I feel, the better I feel, and the more effort I put into it. Shut up, motorbike. The more effort I put into it, the better I feel, and the more I enjoy it. Now, earlier last year, Iggy and I were running once, if not twice a week. Unfortunately, I changed job, and that had to change. And as a result, I definitely see the difference on gel ball field. I really have to force myself to run that extra 20 meters to the spawn turnaround point. Instead of last time, I'd just run it. Well, not last time, but earlier last year, I would just run and get back into the game. Wasn't even have to think about my fitness because I was quite capable of running 5, if not more, kilometers. Not a drama. These days, I can still run 5Ks, but I really got to work at it. And it would be slower, and I'd have to concentrate and focus harder. So for me, the third point of gel balling is fitness. It's keeping me fit, it's keeping me healthy, and allowing me to not have to go to the gym, not have to pay for the gym, but actually enjoy the fitness. Which, as I said at the start of this section, I don't enjoy doing fitness, exercise, training at all anymore. Anyway, that's probably enough rubbish ranting from me. I'm sat here, back of the garage, got my car sat here, I've got gel balling gear on the wall here. There's my Tac plate carrier, there's my battle belt and other stuff, and up on the wall here is some of the Monsters Armory stuff. This one, I don't know which side my camera's on, the Asta by Gate is going in my Shackers Clackers M4, ready for the new season. I'm going to leave it at that. I've got a handful of 9mm I need to size and check before I put in the boxes. I'm going to get out of your hair. Thank you, everyone. Issue 3 is coming out. Check it out. And I'll hit you up soon for another vlog kind of vid thing. And we've got some TSI patches coming. If you want a TSI patch, let me know. Over and out. See you next time.